Welcome to InViewTV. This is Michael El-Bacha. I am here at the Australasian Soccer Academy with founder, director, coach Tony Basha, and joining us is also Wanderers striker, captain, and now Caltex Socceroo, Mitch Duke. Welcome to the show, guys.
Cheers, mate. Happy to be here.
Yeah, welcome back. You've just come back from Jordan.
Yeah, just recently.
For the Socceroos.
Yeah, just a couple of weeks ago, which was an amazing experience. I haven't been getting too much international call-ups in the last few years, but lucky enough, June and now only last month as well, I got another call-up. So I've had 2 caps this year, which has been nice, and just enjoying any opportunity I get with the national team. I would say it's probably the biggest honour to be involved in the international setup, representing your country in what we do.
And we won 1-0 too.
Yeah, exactly, and that was their first away win there as well.
Yeah.
So,
and you played the last 20 minutes or something?
So it's nice to play a part in that little bit of history.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'll just enjoy any opportunity I get to represent my country.
Cool. And with us here, we've got Tony Basha. He's one of your mentors, I believe. Tony Basha, how are you going?
Good, mate. Good to be here.
Tell us about Mitch.
Juki, when it was now or before. We've got a lot of stories. Juki joined the academy at 13 years old, and we seen potential in him as a junior, and we honed his skill, trained him, put extra effort in him, and now obviously he's the captain of the Wanderers, Socceroos. He had a lot of knockbacks, rejected from clubs, and a lot of the clubs now have egg on their face. So he's played the highest honour as a footballer.
What's the difference between the way Mitch Duke is compared to the other players? What makes him special?
Okay, Duke, when he came to the academy, he wasn't the best player at the academy, but he had the work ethic. He was willing to work, head down, bums up, and do all the hard yards. While the other guys were lazy, they got into the party scene where Dukey just nailed down and put the effort in and worked hard and listened. But also he's got good parents. Mum and dad always took him to training, and he's come from a good family, and obviously having good family and people behind you, that's the end result.
You must be very proud of Mitch Duke, what he's been doing for the Wanderers, eh? He started off with a bang.
He is. Look, he's been playing well.
Yeah.
Very proud of him.
Yeah.
But the form has dipped of late. Not him, but obviously the team. So obviously it affects him being an attacking player. But he's one of the best players in the A-League by far. He spent 4 years in Japan playing in the top league. Not many players can play in Japan because Japan's one of the best, the best league in Asia. And he's proved that he's one of the best to last 4 years in the J-League, which is a big ask. So he's done a great job.
And let's take Mitch, the Wanderers. I mean, I remember that goal, the header. One of the first games. I mean, how was it feeling for you getting out there with all these supporters and being the captain of the Wanderers?
Yeah, there was so much about that game. I think, first of all, the fans were amazing. 28,500 people filling the stadium of a 30,000 seat stadium, and the fact that we were back at home this season with the new stadium, Bank West, that brings a whole nother situation into it. The fans want results at home. They hadn't have at home for 3 years, I think, 3 seasons. So it means a lot. Any game we play there, but then again, especially against Sydney FC, a derby match. And then also Sydney FC have been dominating the derbies the last 4 or 5 seasons. So that goal meant a lot for me personally, obviously coming from representing Western Sydney as well, growing up here, to be captain and to also break that duck and beat Sydney FC finally in what has been a quite dominant derby for them over the years. So yeah, to break that in front of all those fans, for me to score the winning goal was just amazing. And it's one of the roles you kind of have to take as a captain. You want to try and make the most of those defining moments in games and help the team get those results and those 3 points. And we had our backs up against the wall in that game. I think they were quite dominant, but lucky enough we fought all the way to the end, and I scored that goal and we got the win, and it was nice to celebrate it with the fans. It's just nice to see them back where Western Sydney deserve to be. I think they set the standard with the crowds and the passion involved. I would have to say they're probably best in the A-League with how vocal they can be and how crazy. So yes, I'm hoping we can give them some success this season for sure.
Talk me through that header. What was going through your mind?
To be fair, it was kind of on the counter attack. We broke up their play, and I was actually quite deep in the pitch in a defensive role. But then when I saw it break down, I literally did about a 40-meter run into the box. Daniel Georgievski did a great cross, and all I had to do was literally just run into it. I was running at a high speed, and lucky enough, I connected the ball perfectly and hit the back of the net, which was just a massive relief and a nice feeling. And did a nice cheeky little split celebration in the corner.
Talk me with that split in the corner. I love that.
Yeah, well, I did it at the back end of last season when I joined in February. I pulled it out as a shock to everyone against Melbourne City when I scored. And it had a bit of mixed reviews, but I think mostly everyone rated it, and they're trying to make it a FIFA celebration. Everyone wants it to be a big thing. So yeah, I felt like it was one of those games to pull it out, kind of rub it in their face as well.
It was awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And lucky enough, the celebration could keep going. You don't want to do those kinds of celebrations and then end up losing that game. It can also be a bit touchy, but lucky enough we got the result, and I was able to enjoy it.
Tony, what do you think about Mitch's splits?
He's not a fan.
I'm not a fan.
Nah, he smashed me about it. He said, "Don't do it again."
No, don't do it again.
But
I don't know if it's a ballet dancer, but it's a weird one.
That's a good one.
yeah, but no one else can do it. That's why I was like,
true.
well,
I can do
very
it.
rare
I'll
amounts of
taught ya.
footballers can do it. Their groins and hip flexors are usually a bit too tight. So
I taught you how to do it, didn't I, back in the day?
you wish.
Well, Tony, let's talk about what you do at the academy.
Okay, we take kids from 4 years up until 20. We've got different programs. Obviously, we got a morning program which goes full time now. They're the ones that we pick. We select 20 players that we pick the best 5 to go on to play professionally. We also have the beginners program where the kids start playing. They also have different sort of programs. We've got the elite program, advanced, and beginners. So we start from the age of 4 all the way up to, like I said, 20 years old, basically.
And what do you look for in a player?
We look obviously for attitude, work ethic, and with me, I've been doing it for a long time. The academy's been going since 2016, so I've got a lot of experience in the game. I've got a lot of experience in mentoring players. I also look for parents too. Parents can play a big part, so we like to obviously get to know the parents. If the parents are bad, obviously some parents try to live their dream through their kids. If we see that, we do not take those players on board. But obviously, skill level, the game's evolved, it's changed now. You've got to be sharp, fast, strong, and you've got to be smart. You've got to be an intelligent player. Now you look for the intelligent players. You can obviously train the skill level and work on their passing, but some players that are different, obviously born to play football. You get players that are born to play, or you get players that you need to work and work with. But attitude's a big thing, and again, parents play a big part in the child.
Talk of born to play soccer, we've got Mr. Mitch right here. Mitch, when did you start soccer? How old were you?
I was put into it quite early. I was only like 3 or 4 years old when I got put into it. They just to pretty much just be active. Our parents put all of our kids. I'm one of 9 kids, so she put us all into sports, and then pretty much at an older age, around 10, 11, they asked us if we wanted to keep going with it. I fell in love with the game at a young age and realised that I'd love to do this as my job. So I wanted to stick with it, and I really had that mindset at a young age to try and pursue, a football career and give it everything I had. I kind of just pretty much got put into it and just fell in love with the game.
And what happens when you get a knockback? What raised you from that?
Yeah, I think my dad's helped me with that, especially with that attitude. I think that's the big thing, like what Basha said. You gotta want it. If you're gonna think you're too good and you get told that you're not, and that shatters you, and you're like, I won't listen to you or do anything like that, then I feel like you won't make it. I feel like me growing up through football, I got plenty of knockbacks, and I definitely didn't rate myself higher than quite a lot of players that I was playing with, and I thought they would have made it, and I wouldn't really, because I was getting told I was not good enough, I can't read the game. All that rejection made making it as a professional all worthwhile, and it's good to be proving those people wrong. Like I said, all that rejection hurt at the time, but now I can look back and be proud of the career I've had so far as a professional and be happy with it.
Have you learned from those rejections?
I think so. I think it definitely mentally made me stronger, which is a massive part of the game. I think in professional sport in general, if you don't have thick skin and a strong mental health, I think it's hard to cope. Especially now, say we've lost 4 games in a row with the Western Sydney Wanderers, fans are not going to be happy. They're going to be throwing out their opinions, harsh words, harsh comments to you, which is fair from them as well. You've got to cop that, and you've got to be able to cop that, take that, turn it into fuel, and make sure you go out next game to prove them wrong if whatever they're saying, and come back out on top. And you've got to use that instead of kind of being like, oh, what are they saying? They don't know what they're talking about. It hurts, whatever. I know I'm good enough, and go into a bit of a sulk about it. So I think that mental side of things has really helped me with the rejection at a younger age.
Cool. Dan, Tony, you've got a TV show called Unwanted. Can you quickly
we started the show. It's called Unwanted. Basically, we're picking 20 players who have been rejected. Obviously, like Duke, been rejected in the past. Now that obviously we've got a lot more power, became pretty powerful overseas. We've got a lot of contacts in Europe, England, Spain, Portugal, Asia. We've covered all the countries in the world, so we're pretty powerful enough to place players in countries and get them proper trials. So what we've done, we've selected 20 players, and those 20 players will train for 8 months every morning, 6 a.m. Then we'll choose the best 5 players that will go get trials, basically. And some of them come from Newcastle, Central Coast. So those guys are getting up at 4 in the morning. So it's an interesting show, but it's actually real. So it's not fake. It's a real show. It's not scripted. Everything's just done
authentically.
Very authentic.
And it's gone live now, has it?
First episode's live.
And how do people see
on
that?
the Facebook, Australasian Soccer Academy Facebook.
Okay.
They can see everything on there.
And let's talk about your passion outside of what you do, Tony. What are you passionate?
I'm a DJ as well. Love music. Going out, mingling with people, meeting people. Basically, it's about it, really.
You don't drink, do you?
Nah. Don't drink.
Any reason why?
When obviously football, when I was growing up, I got taught not to drink, so I just don't drink.
Okay, cool. And Mitch, what's your passion outside of what you do? Because we know you're amazing. But what keeps you sane?
More family. I had a 4-year stint also in Japan, so I was quite isolated over there without family, friends. I've got a wife and a 3-year-old as well, which helped keep me sane. And that was pretty much my thing to do outside of football, was literally just hang with the family. I'm obsessed with my little man, so I love taking him out. I'm already quite active as myself, and I feel like I'm a kid myself as well. So I like doing anything and everything with him, just taking him out for a bit of a play at the park, take him to the zoo, and anything I can do with the family. And then if I can get the chance, hang out with the boys, go play golf and things like that. And in the meantime now as well, I want to start doing a bit of studies to start preparing for life outside of football as well, as I'm not a young boy anymore. I'm 28, turning 29 next month. So, I've got to start preparing. I've also got a family that I've got to look after and provide for. So, there's no better way to start than now to prepare for life after football. It's a tough journey, transitioning. So, and I've seen it happen. So I want to start preparing now for that as well.
Does your little boy have your abilities as a soccer
Actually,
professional?
my backyard, I've got a little AstroTurf set up, pitch for him, and he loves to kick at the goals, and he's got a good little kick on him. So hopefully he follows in my footsteps, and if not, even go even further than what I did.
So Tony, you've got one coming up. Your wife is pregnant?
He got me, threw me under the bus. He mentioned his wife and I didn't.
So I just thought
I've got a baby girl.
And
one coming.
One boy coming along the way.
I've got a boy coming. Actually, my daughter Alana is best friends with Jackson.
Oh, wow.
So I've gone from mentor to becoming good friends. Good family friends.
And where do you see Mitch's future?
He'll work with me one day.
Yeah.
He'll get involved in the academy. He'll open his own academy with us. So we can help him life after football.
And what do you have for message for the aspiring soccer players out there that are trying to obviously break through and make it into the professional league?
Yeah, I think what we're just talking about, prepare for a rejection, but use that as fuel to make it. I would not say get down, believe in yourself, and believe in your ability. Don't let anyone else question you. If you want it, go get it. And I think that's pretty much all you need to do, really. As long as you believe in yourself, no one else can tarnish that.
Wise words. I know as the Wanderers will lift up soon and they'll get back to the winning formula. With a captain like yourself, a striker, I mean, a mentor for a lot of players, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. I've got to take that upon being a leader now. Being voted captain by the boys also was a massive honour. You take that more than being voted by the coaching staff or anything like that, because that's who you go out on the pitch with is the players. So for them to think that I'm captain material, I've got to prove my worth as well to that, and help lead the boys out of this tough rut as well. And I believe we've got the quality to do it. I believe in myself and the boys. So yeah, watch your space with the Wanderers. I think we'll finish strong and we'll be up there at the end of the season.
Very looking forward to seeing you to raise above that challenge. And Tony, if there's any soccer players that want to join your academy, how can they do that?
Yeah, they can just jump on the website www.australasiansocceracademy.com.au. Get in touch. If players want to start playing the game, they want to be at the pro level, we cover all sorts of players.
From elite level to the youngers. How young can they be?
4.
From 4?
4 years old's fine. So if they love the game, then they're more than welcome to come on board. Obviously, we're an academy. It's a family academy, and we care for the players.
Yeah, cool. Well, any other things you'd like to say, boys?
No, that's it. I think we covered quite a lot on here, and I'm pretty happy with it.
Well, it's a great academy place right here, the Indoor Sports Centre.
Yeah, it's one of its kind in Australia. There's no facility like this in Australia. When I was in Europe, a lot of the European clubs, the EPL clubs, have a similar setup to this, but obviously bigger scale. But this is the first of its kind. We've got the room, we've got the gym, and obviously a lot of stuff here for professional footballers.
That's an unreal setup. Like back to think when I started out with Tony, we probably only had about 5-6 of us, and now to see where it's grown is just unbelievable. And the opportunity it gives these boys in the academy. This is a world-class facility here. With any condition it is outside, if it's raining and grounds are closed, you've got this as your option as well. And I wish I had this at my disposal when I was growing up, because you want as much opportunity and help as you can get.
We secretly trained Duke in here before he went to the Socceroos.
Yeah, I did, because I was
secret.
Before before the South Korea game in June. I had finished my season. I was 3 weeks into holiday mode when I got the call. So I called up Tony to get me conditioned and use this facility, and I think that helped me, because I was only supposed to be just a number going into camp, and I ended up starting that game, and that's a help to him, and he gives me everything I need, and that's why I appreciate. We've turned from coach, mentor to now like literally family, friends.
That's beautiful. Yeah. One last question before I let you guys go. Is soccer political? Is it political?
Very political game.
Yeah, of course it is.
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Right. Why is that?
Yeah. It's just part of the game.
Business.
Like for me, for an example, for coaches, I think I played 4 years in the J League, in a top league in Asia. I played mostly every game, over 100 appearances, and I think not many Australians have been able to do that. And in that whole time, I was not being able to get a national team call-up. And that was because Ange Postecoglou was in charge. He had known nothing about me. He's never coached me, never been directly involved with me. And he didn't even have a look at me, and I thought that was quite harsh. And then you think about Graham Arnold's taken over now as well, who's I've had a lot of success with back at the Mariners. And that helps you having that connection, because if he's liked you and seen you as a player firsthand, that already gives you that little opportunity to get that extra bit of notice, I guess. If the coach has nothing to do with you ever, it's hard for him to completely back you to throw you out there on the pitch to get results for him. If he's going to choose you that he doesn't know, or someone that he's coached, knows he can get what he wants out of them, that player is always going to have that advantage. So that's one political side to it. Just to give.
I can give you a how it works. Football is. I can sit here for 3 hours talk about this. Okay. What it is these coaches Say, for instance, Ange Postecoglou, fantastic coach, probably one of the best coaches in Australia. Him and Graham Arnold, two of the best. They have an agent. They've got a play agent. They've got obviously the agent. So that agent also has players who are run by the same person. You understand? So that agent obviously is working with the coach. That coach has got players under him. So they pick those players to play for the Socceroos. So it's a you scratch my back, I scratch your back. And that's how it is. Overseas is worse. You go to Europe, it's worse. You're talking about big money, multi-million-dollar. We're talking about players that are on £500,000 a week. And that's where it gets messy. Yeah. So we can talk about it all night, but that's how it is.
Yeah, it's not always the case though. Like, you know, like I said, that's a certain situation and scenario, but that's not always the case with certain players. You know, if they're making noise, you know, I've seen players making noise and they've gotten their reward deservingly and things like that. So I was just saying that from my experience, but overall in the game, it's not always the case in certain scenarios. You know, it's just, yeah, there is part and parcels and a bit of a dark side to the game in certain situations as well.
Well, how can people stay in touch with your amazing career? Do you have an agent? Is there a website?
Yeah, well, I'm quite active on social media. You know, I connect to my fans quite a lot, and they react or talk to me. I make an effort to try and reply to everyone that sends me messages, as long as it's nice. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Mitchell Duke, or even on a Facebook page, Mitchell Duke, or Mitch.Duke8 on Twitter. Okay. So.
Well, to complete honour, guys, thank you so much for joining us on InViewTV. Can I get a handshake? I'll give you a hug too.
It's been a pleasure.
You're amazing. Thanks, brother. Inspiring, brothers. Not every day I get to interview my brother who inspires me. So thank you so much for joining us on InViewTV.
I appreciate it.
And thanks for having us here at the Beautiful Academy as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Cheers.